Let's take you now back to the northwest, Potchefstroom, where President Cyril Ramaphosa has been speaking to community members.
It is a great honor for us to be invited to participate in a peace summit like that when we are so far away from that part of the world. It speaks to South Africa's standing with regard to how we are perceived and the fact that some people and leaders think that we can make a contribution. We do believe that we can make a contribution. Our own history and what we have gone through, when we look at what is unfolding there, is a history and an experience that can be brought to bear in terms of trying to resolve those conflicts that seem intractable, because our own struggle and conflict seemed intractable. Many people around the world thought that South Africa is going to descend in a terrible civil war and will be slaughtering each other. And we found peace, a way of fostering peace. So that is the message that we will be taking to that part of the world.
Mr. President, I also heard you say and reiterate the Premier's sentiments that 80% of the challenges raised in March have actually been addressed. But I mean, you talk to the people here, yes, they acknowledge that government has done something, but some are saying 80% is a bit far-fetched.
Well, 80% of those things that were raised and which we could measure. And of course, we still remain with huge challenges all round, and we admit that. But what is important is people's admission that they can see that there is progress that is being made. And that is the real core of our message, that we are making progress, we are turning things around. And you start off with load shedding. Load shedding, we've turned the corner. It was a horrible period that we went through, we've turned the corner. The issue of water, we are now on top of the solutions that can be brought to bear. So not everything has been done, but those things that we could measure that were raised, yes, they've measured very carefully that 80% have been done. So we are turning things around in as far as improving the lives of our people.
Mr. President, thank you so much for your time. Minister, thank you so much for your time.
From Three Streams Media.
Okay.
So I just wanted to ask something. Voter apathy is relatively low in our country, especially for young people. What do you have to say to young people, considering the fact that we're going to elections next year?
Well, we want young people to participate in the democracy of their own country. It's in their own interest. They are the future. They are going to inherit what is currently happening. And it is really important that they should actively participate in what is unfolding, register to vote, and also go and vote, because their vote is important, it's significant for the future of our country, but more importantly, for their own future as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was President Cyril Ramaphosa. I'll just ask my colleagues to get out of the way and just speak to the Premier. Please allow me there in studio. Premier, thank you so much for your time. I mean, on stage, and like I asked the President, you had said that 80% of the issues and the challenges that were raised by community members earlier on in March are being addressed. 20% are still outstanding. But I mean, you drive into this neighborhood, you drive into this township, there's still potholes. People are still complaining about crime cartels. Can you just tell us tangible proof what has been done and that people could actually practically see?
Let's just make practical examples. The minister, when he was answering an important question on water, he said 27 projects are under construction as we speak. The president said this morning we went to one extension where we're going to see a reservoir which is being constructed, which is going to address problems of water in the entire area here. Secondly, potholes will always be there, like everybody else. But the majority of potholes have been patched and so on, and we are doing that thing on a daily basis and on every Friday through Tunzalerwele. We are doing that exercise. The issue of energy, the Minister of Electricity is attending to challenges of energy in the entire province. We have said will not be able to complete or to address all the challenges that we have in the province as alone as the public sector. We need to involve the private sector. There must be partnership. I indicated when we were in this hall that, for example, I had a dinner with investors, more than 250 of them, and they've pledged over 134 billion into addressing challenges that we have in the province. Now, if you say we have not achieved 80%...
This is not me. This is the residents of this area.
What is that we're talking about? For an example, the other issue that was raised by the people is houses that are incomplete. As we speak today, in each and every area in the Northwest Province, I have appointed contractors who are on site completing those houses. What else? In actual fact, it might even be more than 80%.
The issue of bogus workers, I know you also addressed that on stage.
Yeah, I made an example with Ditsobotla. That, for example, in Ditsobotla, there are just too many people who are bogus workers. And that's why we insisted that we are going to pay you as you come. You must tell us who you are, who employed you, what is your employment contract saying, and so on. Out of that exercise, 28 of them were found to be bogus workers. 28 of them. And we are doing that in other municipalities as well. As we do this work and so on, we are going to uncover a lot of things. And we are doing that work. And I'm happy that we are getting there. If you can compare with other provinces, I suspect we might be number one.
We shall see. But also, Premier, let's just also talk about the issue of councillors who don't perform. I mean, we've heard countless times in the two previous Imbizos in Limpopo and in the Eastern Cape, the President had said that, listen, it's time we crack the whip on councillors who don't perform. Have you found such people and, are you firing them, for lack of better words?
By the way, I was addressing the legislature about 3 days ago. And I appealed to all political parties. I said to them, the challenges that we have in municipalities is both administrative and political. And the political one, it means political parties must deal with that situation, because these deployees or these people who are there were sent by their political parties. It means they need to act. In the ANC, we are acting. We are not acting as fast as we would want and so on, because we know that we must follow our own constitution that says people must go to the DC and so on. After that, they appeal. We have fired others. They've appealed to national and so on. But in the Northwest, we have acted. They have appealed. We are waiting for the appeal process to be completed, and then we'll know where to from here.
Premier, of course, we'll come back and hold you to account for all these promises that you've promised the people of Northwest.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Of course, that was the Premier of the Northwest, Mr. Nonobaloyi. Before that, we spoke to President Cyril Ramaphosa, of course, of issues around the Israel and Palestine war. You also raised and jumped in and spoke about the whole issue of 80% of the challenges that were raised by the community earlier on this year being addressed. And of course, 20% is still outstanding. You heard the Premier there reiterating that, saying that they on top of implementing those water projects. There are about 27 water projects here in the province to the tune of billions of rands that will ensure that people from this province actually get water. The issue of potholes. Earlier on, we spoke to the police minister earlier on, just saying that they are dealing with the issue of these criminal syndicates here in the province, your construction mafias, and so many more issues. But of course, you, the people of Northwest, will be the judge. Has service delivery actually improved since national government came in the first Imbizo in March, on the 15th of March till now? Are you actually seeing any tangible difference in terms of crime, in terms of service delivery issues, water, the potholes being addressed, the high unemployment rates? We heard the minister there, Minister Nglesi, promising that a number of people in this province will be employed through the EPWP projects and of course the CWP projects. But of course, this is not the only Imbizo. The next Imbizo will be taking place in the Free State, and of course this is the second leg of this presidential Imbizo, and this is an opportunity for you, the public, to hold government to account. Are they delivering their promises on delivering housing, delivering service delivery, or is it just a talk shop? I guess as you, our SABC viewers, will be the final deciders and the final judge on that.